Thank you so much for joining me today. This is Tim Birch, and I'm the Regional Sales Director for Atlas Ocean Voyages. It's a wonderful, wonderful product. We're intimate yachting expedition vessels. So what I'd like to do is kind of walk you through it. And for those of you that are not familiar with us, we started around 2019. We're growing, and we'll talk a little bit about the growth that we have that's going on for us right now. First of all, again, I'd like to introduce Atlas. You know, we are a year-round expedition company. Fabulous, gorgeous, absolutely beautiful yachts that we have. I want to go over our value proposition here at Atlas Ocean Voyages, our market position, where we are in the market, and of course our commitment to our guests moving forward. So currently we have two yachts, the World Navigator, which was launched in 2021, and then the World Traveler, just recently launched in 2022. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful, beautiful yachts. Again, this is for an intimate yachting expedition. I should update this slide because I'm very happy to announce that we actually are taking possession of our third yacht, and that will be in November of this year. So we will have three of these beautiful, beautiful yachts sailing in Antarctica this winter. And then in 2024, we're going to add yet another vessel to our fleet, and then so on and so on. All of our yachts are they're basically sister ships. They're all pretty much built. The hardware is the same. What we do is we change a little bit of the decor inside, but suffice it to say that all these yachts are sister ships. So where do we go? What do we do? As I mentioned before, we're a year-round expedition company. We have Polar Expeditions. For those of you that I know somebody is watching that Antarctica is on their bucket list. But we do Antarctica from November to March, and then we do Iceland and Greenland from August to September, and then, of course, the Arctic and Norwegian fjords in August. And then what we do is we reposition our vessels to the Mediterranean, Greek Isles, British Isles, Northern Europe from April to October. And again, as I mentioned early on, keep in mind that we are introducing our third ship just shortly in basically 4 months in November. So we're a very destination-focused cruise product, and we're intimate yachts, and I'll go through that a little bit, and I'll talk a little bit about our wonderful staff and how our onboard experience is. As I mentioned before, destination-focused, free cultural immersions on every single voyage, zodiacs for shore landings, access to remote, secluded, intimate harbors. Keep that in mind. Again, these vessels are only 10,000 gross registered tons, and I'll go through the capacity in a couple slides coming up. We have the ability to dock in the heart of iconic cities, longer stays, overnights in a lot of ports, small group shore excursions. We have customizable full and half-day private excursions, and of course, we do pre and post hotel accommodations. Intimate. These are cutting edge built yachts that we have in our fleet. Hold on, sorry, I had a little bit of a issue here. Anyway, so we have a globally inspired cuisine program, which I'll talk a little bit about, which really is on all of our ships and all of our destinations, but I want to focus on the Mediterranean in a little bit. Exquisite accommodations ranging from 183 square feet to 465 square feet, 90% with balconies, marble spa baths, and luxurious Lakatan amenities. And then we have this water's edge deck, which is all the way forward, sits 30 feet above the sea's surface. And then, of course, we have all the toys that you need for a cruise like this. Personalized service. I have to tell you that we have beautiful ships. We have great destinations. It really incredible culinary program. but it really boils down to the service. And I got to tell you, our staff on board are amazing, absolutely amazing. You know, we can offer the best of the best, but if our staff doesn't come through, then that's not a good thing. So, you know, we're nearly 1-to-1 staff to guest ratio. Think about that. We have 24-hour room service, including spirits, wine, beer, 24-hour open bar. We all are all inclusive. And of course, we offer butler service in all of our suites. And we, again, as I mentioned, we're always everything is included. Complimentary immersions on every voyage, unlimited wines, premium craft cocktails, brews. Again, the bath amenities, in-room mini fridge, which is stocked, gratuities for exceptional service that you'll be getting. We also include emergency medical evacuation insurance, which is very, very rare. And then even if you experience our Antarctica, you have a parka to take home as a memento of your Antarctica or Arctic expedition. So what is big about our small ships? The Navigator, the Traveler are perfect for exploring the world up close, without a doubt. And you'll see that in a couple of slides that I'm going to refer to down the road here. But sister ships, they're, again, as I mentioned before, also feature the latest technology and safety protocols available at the time of launch. So currently, like I mentioned before, we have the Navigator and the Traveler. They are sister ships, 190 guests maximum, 176 guests in Antarctica. We have a 1:1.3 crew to guest ratio, 98 balconies, suites and accommodations, 2 main lounges. We have a variety of entertainment throughout the vessel, the pianist up in the dome area, which I'll show you in a bit, heated pool, hot tub, and then of course we have fitness center, and then our La Caton Sea Spa, and then our Water's Edge, which I touched on a little bit before. So basically where we sail, pretty simple. For 2023-24, we're in the Arctic, then British Isles, Northern Europe, Iceland, Greenland, the Med, Norwegian fjords, and of course, Antarctica. Our target audience basically is 55 and above, baby boomers, experienced travelers, those curiosity seekers, especially with Antarctica and the Arctic, college educated, just active lifestyle. It's a great target audience. I want to walk you through the yacht just a little bit here. This, of course, is our spa on board, and then by day we have the fitness center is actually quite large for a ship of this size. We actually offer a beautiful pool on board. Obviously not a lot of action during Antarctica, but it's great when the weather's wonderful. And then of course a lot of areas outside. This is the thing that impresses me the most about our yachts is how much outdoor space that we have on board the ship. And then by night, of course, we have entertainment on board, wonderful cocktail parties. We have the Dome Observation Lounge, which is on deck 7 all the way forward. Beautiful views of the landscape, and we also have high tea that we do in the observation lounge every day. And as I mentioned early on, these are all sister ships. The hardware, they all are the same. So I put this in just to give you a sense of what you'll see on board all of our ships. The World Navigator, again, the same look, the same hardware itself. The only thing that changes on the right-hand side of the screen is World Traveler, which is a little bit different sense of, it's just a different decor. But this is going to happen on all of our vessels. Our auditorium is wonderful, especially when we're doing especially in the expedition area in Antarctica, where we're doing presentations. We can handle every single one of our guests that are on board at one particular time. So the auditorium is a great area for doing the presentations. Onboard lifestyle or onboard life, we have our inspired cuisine. Our cuisine is absolutely fabulous. I was fortunate enough, I just got off the World Traveler about 4 weeks ago in Las Palmas, and the food was absolutely spectacular. On the World Navigator, we have Porto, and then on the World Traveler, we have Lisboa, then we have Seven Aft, we have the Dome, which I just covered, and then I'll talk a little bit about Paula's Pantry, and of course our in-room dining available 24/7. One of my favorite areas here is Lisboa. This is, again, it changes when you're on the Navigator, but just a great area to sit and have breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Fabulous views, of course, and and you're kind of outside a little bit. It's covered, but just a great area to just sit and relax. Paula's Pantry was one of my favorite places. I tend to go there every morning. It opens up around 6:30 in the morning, and we basically serve through the up through the afternoon. And I believe it's 6:30 at night when we close it. But you can get sandwiches, you can get croissants, you can get specialty coffees and things of that nature in Paula's Pantry. Typically, I would get my coffee, and I would go aft and sit outside and just kind of watch everything go by. As I mentioned before, we have balconies and suite accommodations. We also have solo accommodations. I'm going to show a couple different stateroom categories. Spacious, modern, dark woods, just absolutely gorgeous. The spa marble spa bathrooms, incredible. I've been on a lot of cruises over the 30 years I've been in this business, and I got to tell you, it's the best shower I've ever experienced. And then we have 8 different categories with 98 accommodations, ranging, as I mentioned before, 183 square feet to 465 square feet. So just kind of walk through a couple. This is our Navigator Suite, 465 square feet. And then we have our Veranda Deluxe, which holds up to 2 guests. This is located on deck 6, 300 square feet. And the Horizon Deluxe, which is again 300 square feet, holds up to 2 guests. We do have a few cabins that will allow up to 3 guests, but they're few and far between. And then we have category A1, A2. This is 270 square feet. The difference with the category A's are, if you notice, the cabin itself, it's got 2 chairs, it's got a sofa, and then it doesn't have a balcony. If you notice, it does not have a balcony. But what we do is we have the top drop electric window. It's what we call a Juliet balcony, and it's really, really awesome, especially if you're in Antarctica and if it's a little bit inclement weather or just a little cold outside. You're not going to go on your balcony. So we put this in for deck 5 and deck 5 and deck 6, and this is great. You just push a button and it goes halfway down, and you can just enjoy it that way too. So, but now if you go to the B2s, the B1s, which again is basically same size, but we do offer just a little sitting area, and then we do offer balconies. And as I mentioned earlier, again, solo accommodations. So I'd like to talk a little bit about the Mediterranean, our culture and cuisine on all of our Med voyages. We have an Epicurean expedition. It's absolutely fabulous. And of course, your friends at Cruise Holidays can assist with this. So we have a free cultural immersion, always included. We offer one of 3 cultural immersion events to choose from in selected ports. It may include something like sampling special cheeses or chocolates, or attending a cooking demonstration, or at cooking school, or what have you, or regional wines. It's just a great program that we have. And then we do offer these souvenir backpacks that you also have. Then we have a gastronomic guest, which I experienced on board when I was on the Traveler. Fantastic live demonstrations. They had a couple cooking demo classes, and it's open to all of our guests. And again, keep in mind, as I mentioned before, maximum amount of guests that we have on board these vessels is 198. And then we have a visiting vintner, 2 wine tasting events and lectures per voyage. So for those that love food and wine, this really is a great experience that you'll have on board Atlas Ocean Voyages. And I experienced this myself when I was on the Traveler, and it was really very cool. It's basically an Ironman competition, which was poolside. It was great, and it's you know, it's our guests are involved in it, and it's just a great experience. So again, always included. We have the free cultural immersions, our Atlas Heritage Dining Experience, culinary presentations, wine tastings, you know, the backpack, and of course, all the water toys that you may need. So now I'd like to talk a little bit about, of course, Antarctica. And as I mentioned early on, this truly is a bucket list for, I know, a lot of folks out there, but fantastic, fantastic, fantastic. That's all I can say. If you haven't experienced Antarctica, you definitely need to look at it. So it's kind of a misnomer. I think a lot of folks ask, you know, they think that Antarctica is, you know, just really cold, but you know, temperatures range from 27 to 33 degrees. You know, you can expect wind, rain, snow, also some sunshine. So the weather changes very quickly. So I couldn't not do this presentation without showing you the penguins, because there's a lot of penguins. Basically, mid-October to the beginning of December starts their courtship rituals, which I find very interesting. And then late December to January, that's actually penguin hatching season. So you can kind of cater your choice of dates around this. And then, of course, you'll see penguins and all different types of penguins. Of course, whales and you know, birds and things of that nature. But I mean, this is just an absolutely gorgeous picture that was taken by one of my colleagues on board the Navigator. So as I mentioned early on, again, the size of the vessel allows us to get really close, and this is really close. And the one thing, the advantage about sailing on Atlas Ocean Voyages is, again, maximum of 100, well, especially in the polar regions, but in the polar regions we're a maximum of 178. And keep in mind that when you actually land and we take our guests on land, we're limited to only 100 guests. So there are opportunities at times, depending on the weather, that you could go out in the morning and then another group would follow you when you get back, and then maybe you could go back out again. And that's pretty rare. It's simply because of the size of our yachts and the location of our yachts. Again, just with the Zodiacs, that's how we get obviously our guests on board. And then you can see all the penguins. This is something very unique that we do. You can actually have the ability to sign up to actually camp out in Antarctica. Obviously, it's very dependent on the weather, but it's just a nice option if it's available on your particular sailing that you choose. So when to go? Basically, again, like I said, November to March, we have 3 seasonal changes: early, mid, late. Early is, you know, more, you know, you'll find November through mid-December, you know, photography, the white snow, the snowshoeing. In mid-December to end of January is a little bit more of the warmest temperatures. And then, of course, late end of January, end of March, best accessibility, most mammal watching or viewing. I do want to mention that we just introduced, you know, going to Antarctica, obviously you have to traverse the Drake Passage. So you have an option with Atlas Ocean Voyages. You actually could fly. We have a Fly the Drake package now, where you can actually, you don't have to even do the Drake. You fly round trip, or you could fly one way, or you could choose the standard route and just take the Drake Passage. So keep that in mind. You have 3 great options when you choose Atlas Ocean Voyages in Antarctica. So why choose us for Antarctica? It's pretty simple. These ships are new. They were built in 2019, 2020. They're purpose-built polar Category C ice class vessels. They're absolutely incredible. It's intimate atmosphere. Again, like I said before, with less than 200 guests. And we sit just 30 feet above the waterline at water's edge, which is just a stunning view. And soon we're actually close. Actually, the Navigator right now has Starlink on board for our connectivity It's just absolutely fantastic. And then, of course, our off-ship explorations. Again, all the Zodiacs, the kayaking, the polar plunge, which I would recommend everyone do when they go. It's just a great experience. And then when you flip the coin here and you do something totally different, and that's the Arctic and Norwegian fjords. Obviously, you have the polar bears, just a totally different vibe, but a wonderful destination for the Arctic and the Norwegian fjords. Of course, Iceland and Greenland, remote, it's popular ports like Reykjavik for sure. You explore the fjords of Greenland, the volcanoes, the geysers, the hot springs. It's just a different vibe, obviously, than Antarctica, but it's a great destination. And then, as I mentioned, again, you have that ability to, with us, to go to the British Isles, Northern Europe, overnights in historic destinations. As I mentioned early on, of course, the Mediterranean highlights Spain, Portugal, France, Italy, the Greek Isles, and imagine cruising through the Med on a yacht with only 190 of your favorite friends. When I was on the Traveler about a month ago, I heard guests talking about that they felt when they walked on the ship, on the yacht, they felt like it was their own personal yacht. So imagine doing that in the Mediterranean. Fabulous. So, we're large enough to comfortably spoil up to 190 guests with large staterooms and suites, multiple dining options, as I mentioned before. Again, all inclusive, lounges, spas, pools, and more. But yet, we're small enough to cruise through the Corinth Canal. Imagine that. That's incredible. Cruise in the Grand Canal in Venice, which is very rare right now. Again, a yacht of this size, we can actually cruise in the Grand Canal and cruise under the Tower Bridge in London. What a sight. What a beautiful sight. So hopefully I've opened your eyes a little bit and you have a little bit more knowledge about what Atlas Ocean Voyages is all about. We have a great partner, of course, with Cruise Holidays. They've been, I've known them for years and years, and I know that they have recently taken a rather large group of 56 guests, I believe, clients, to Antarctica. So you have a great partner there, and again, we'd love to have you on board. We have several specials that obviously they can fill you in on. But again, remember, getting back to the Drake Passage, you do have that option now, which we just announced about 2 weeks ago. So welcome to the world of Atlas Ocean Voyages. We'd love to have you on board as our guest and have you keep coming back over and over and over again as our fleet grows. Have a wonderful day.